Hey, this is Eric Morel, and today I'm going to give you a brief demo of the Prayer Engine in action. The Prayer Engine is a web-based prayer wall and moderation system that you host directly on your site. It only takes about 5 minutes to get it up and running, and it's extremely customizable. Let's get started by taking a brief look at the cornerstone of the Prayer Engine, which is the prayer wall itself. This is your prayer wall as it will appear after you install the Prayer Engine on your website. It's extremely customizable through CSS and comes with 11 custom designer color schemes to get you started. It'll always show the most recent list of approved prayer requests ordered by date. And you'll see right now that it is set to show about 10 prayer requests per page with navigation for historical prayer archives at the bottom and top of the page. Let's dig a little bit deeper by learning how to share a prayer request on your prayer wall. And you do that by simply clicking Share Your Prayer Request, which will slide down a nicely formatted form. This form collects the person's name, email address, phone number, sharing details, and the prayer request itself. Now, the Prayer Engine does require that the user supply an email address and full prayer request, and this is to cut down on spam and just make sure that nobody is actually abusing the prayer wall by posting all sorts of random things. So as you can see, I have pre-populated this form. Now a person can choose when they submit their prayer request if they would like it to be shared online anonymously, or maybe just shared directly with your staff. So for this example, we're just going to choose to share this. And you'll also see at the bottom of the screen, they have the option to email when somebody prays for them and to share this prayer request on Twitter. And we're going to take a look at that right now. And what this does is if your church has a Twitter feed that's specifically made for just sharing prayer requests, it will take the prayer request they have entered above and pare it down and format it just for Twitter. So I'm going to edit this real quick. And you'll also notice in the bottom left corner of that window you see a number of characters remaining, which this helps them easily format their prayer request. So now that I feel happy with my prayer request here, I'm going to submit the prayer request. And there you go. You'll see that the user is immediately notified that their prayer request has been received, and it will be posted shortly after it's moderated. Let's move on and take a look at the Prayer Engine's administrative portal. Your administrative portal is hosted on the same site as your prayer wall, and it is accessible from anywhere in the world as long as you have an internet connection, so you do not have to be in the office if you need to moderate a prayer request. Now, immediately after a prayer request has been submitted, your Prayer Engine administrators will be notified via email that a new prayer request has been received. So, assuming that you receive that email, you will log in to your prayer wall, and you will immediately see the most recent list of prayer requests, with the newest prayer requests at the top marked in blue. So to begin the moderation process, we're just going to click anywhere on this prayer request, and you'll see it takes us to a page listing all sorts of good details about this prayer request. You can see the name of the submitter, the date and the time they submitted the prayer request, an email link to their email address that they supplied if you need to contact them, and their phone number if they supplied one. The Prayer Engine also always keeps a permanent record of the original prayer request that was received and their instructions for how they want their prayer request to be shared. To actually edit and moderate this prayer request, we're going to scroll down the page. And you can see that we can edit the submitter's name, their sharing option, maybe if you want to choose to share it online anonymously. For this example, we're going to just keep it shared online normally. And you can actually edit the details of their prayer request before you post it on the prayer wall. So if they maybe provide a little too much information, you can simply edit this out before posting, which we'll do right now for an example. And you can do the same for their prayer tweet before it is actually posted to Twitter. Once you're happy with your changes, simply click Update Prayer, and the prayer request has been posted live to the prayer wall. One of the greatest things about the Prayer Engine is how much work it does for you. Immediately after you approve a prayer request, it posts it online in a variety of places all at the same time without you having to lift another finger. Let's take a look at a few of those right now. So we can see our prayer wall has now been updated with the most recent prayer request at the top that we just approved. And the Prayer Engine also includes an RSS feed that allows you to share prayer requests in a variety of formats. For instance, we can look at a NetVibes start page here where somebody has subscribed to our prayer chain. And we can see the most recent prayer request has now been added to the top. And they can also scroll through and read through previous prayer requests. Similarly, if you have a newsreader program like NetNewsWire, you can do the same. We'll refresh our feed here. And you can see our most recent prayer request has been added to the top of this feed reader. And we mentioned our Twitter feed earlier. And the prayer engine is built to automatically share your prayer requests very easily through a Twitter prayer chain, which are becoming more and more popular these days. The prayer engine also includes a fully customizable mobile web app. Let's take a look at that right now. And we're looking at this on an emulator for the Android mobile operating system. And the prayer engine is compatible with iPhone, iPod Touch, Android devices, and pretty much any other device in the future that uses a WebKit-based browser. So let's launch our mobile web app. And you'll see that our most recent prayer request is now listed at the top of the page. We can click that prayer request to view it. Or using our mobile web app, we can go back and add a prayer request from on the road. By now, you're probably wondering about the I Pray for This button that you've seen throughout our demonstration. Let's head back to our prayer wall and take a quick look at that right now. You'll notice on the right side of each prayer request we have a button that says I prayed for this, and this allows for real ministry to occur by sending feedback to the original submitter of the prayer request. So anytime we click this button, you'll see an updated tally is displayed of how many times a prayer request has been prayed for. Even further, if a user elected to have email notifications sent to them when they originally submit their prayer request, from this little checkbox, anytime they have been prayed for, they will receive an email notification letting them know that somebody has just prayed for them. Let's wrap up our demo real quick by taking a look at the Prayer Engine's administrative portal. As we mentioned earlier, as soon as you log in, you'll be greeted with a list of the most recent prayer requests. From this screen, you can click on any prayer request to edit it at any time. If somebody calls into the church offices on the phone and would like to submit a prayer request to your prayer wall, you can do this by clicking Add a New Prayer Request at the top right corner of the screen. And you'll see a similar form to what you see on your live prayer wall. Also, somebody calls in or reports that a prayer request has been answered, or maybe there's a little bit too much information online. You can delete a prayer request at any time by clicking Delete. You'll confirm that you want to delete the prayer request, and that prayer request will be gone from your prayer wall forever. You'll notice a few other options in the navigation on the left side of the page. The first is our report library. The Prayer Engine can provide a nicely formatted printed report of prayer requests received in the last day, last week, month, or quarter. This is useful if you have a team of pastors on staff that want a daily update on prayer requests received, or maybe a Sunday school class that wants a weekly update that they can pray for every Sunday. To run these reports, simply click Run this report, and you'll receive a nicely formatted breakdown of the most recent prayer requests. Your copy of the Prayer Engine supports an unlimited number of administrative users, and you can manage these users by clicking Manage Users. You'll be presented with a list of all the current administrative users, and you can edit these folks at any time by clicking their name, where you can edit their personal information and their privileges for the administrative portal. Prayer Engine settings can be modified at any time by clicking Engine Settings. And from the screen, you can modify the number of prayer requests displayed on your prayer wall at a time, your ministry name, and various other options. You'll notice at the top that from the screen you can modify the color template for your prayer wall, which is as simple as selecting a color and choosing Update Settings at the bottom of the screen. If we go back and reload our prayer wall, you'll see that the color changes immediately take effect. This has been just a brief look at what the Prayer Engine has to offer. The Prayer Engine was designed to be extremely affordable for your ministry at only $99 for a licensed copy. This is a one-time fee, there's no monthly charge, and it's actually cheaper than running a listserv email prayer chain for just a few months. We believe it's the cheapest, most effective way to supercharge your prayer ministry, and you can get your copy today at theprayerengine.com.